Ready for the reveal?
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's pretty dang crusty.
Crap. Well, does it poke?
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and I am so excited that I have finally found one of these because they are incredibly rare. One of the rarest Saabs in the modern era, a 2008 Saab 97X Aero. And of course, Saab was a Swedish company that was born from jets, aircraft production, but they started making cars after World War II, and there is nothing Swedish about this thing. In 1989, GM acquired 50% of Saab and then all of it in 2000 and started rebadging existing vehicles on other platforms and making them Saabs. And that is what you have right here. Underneath this sort of Saab tuxedo is a Chevy Trailblazer SS. So an LS2 V8 under hood, all-wheel drive automatic. Basically everything mechanical is shared with a Trailblazer SS, but these got the fancy European treatment, some more sound deadening, and yeah, nobody in the Saab world wanted these things. They were $10,000 more than a Trailblazer SS. So even Trailblazer SS people were like, no, I'm buying the Chevy. So these were an abysmal failure. They only sold 500 in 2008 and about 100 in 2009. And then GM went bankrupt. Saab sold to another company and they completely failed. By 2011, Saab was no more. So what we have here is an end of an era, an end of a brand, a really weird, funky, strange, and kind of cool end of a brand, if you ask me. Before YouTube completely took over my life in the best way possible with my hoopty fleet, my main job involved opening up burger joints all over the Midwest. And the number one challenge, the most time consuming by far, was finding the right management team with the skills and experience necessary to operate those stores. I used ZipRecruiter, the sponsor of today's video, to find great candidates and thought it was an invaluable tool back then, and it's even more impressive now. ZipRecruiter's technology excels at finding the most qualified candidates for a wide range of roles. This includes the ability to scan resumes for you to identify people whose skills and experience match your job. And their powerful matching technology can start showing you these candidates immediately. Once you review your list of great candidates for your position, you can easily invite your top choices to apply, encouraging them to apply sooner. You deserve the best for your business, so hire the best with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/Hoovies. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Hoovies. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right, let's start the tour of this badge-engineered wonder, and I've actually owned the other strangely badge-engineered Saab, the Saab 92X, which was famously called the Saabaroo because they took a Subaru Impreza, or a WRX in the Aero version, and gave it the Saab treatment similar to this. So you got the turbo flat-4 engine, all-wheel drive, very funky. But this one I've been after for a very long time. They are very hard to find, but yeah, it is a Trailblazer. Although they try really hard to make it different looking in the nose, so a totally different grille treatment, fog lights, headlights obviously looking very European, but then the wheels, well, they're right out of a Trailblazer SS, minus the badge right there, the Saab badge. The body panels wise, the door handles, the mirrors look exactly the same. You go around to the back and yeah, a little bit different, but the same sort of shape with the Trailblazer. And it's funny, the Trailblazer had the GMC Envoy, they had the Oldsmobile Bravada on this platform. So it was a very utilized platform for a lot of different makes. Yeah, you see it does have the roof rack and the crossbars, a Saab accessory, pretty rare there. But the weirdest probably body style of these was the XUT GMC Envoy that had the sort of truck bed fold down thing in the back and extra length. Really weird on those, but they also made Envoy Denali's, the fancy Oldsmobile, but this by far was the most expensive version of this platform. Almost $50,000 when new, and when you go inside, well, they did try to make it a lot more luxurious than a Trailblazer. A lot of differences in here. Starting with more sound insulation, better sound deadening. You can see the seats more or less are the same though, but the differences are pretty funny. So they went with with the European Saab style vents in the dashboard. So it has a custom dashboard to it with the extra louvers and things looking right out of a Saab. But then you have GM controls. So the steering wheel is right out of a GM product. Although the airbag cover has the Saab, the instrument cluster has sort of a Saab font to it. But when you start it up, which starting it up is actually down here like a Saab, you have the old school GM green LCD graphics. The infotainment and dual zone climate control are right out of a Saab. The buttons are slightly different, but still the same as a GM product. The shifter, same, out of a Trailblazer SS. But the other little European touch is right here. You have a cup holder, which, there we go, still pretty much works. It's a miracle. That is very European of this Trailblazer SS in tuxedo, but you saw there's some junk in here. There's a normal cup holder as well, and one in the back. I've been hauling the kids in here a little bit, so it's already seeing some use. And speaking of the back, this one's even been optioned with the rear entertainment system from the mid-2000s. So the Panasonic DVD player, and you have the volume controls down here, and it all still works. That is so dang cool. You can see wood from the finest plastic trees right here, heated seats on the door, and under hood, yeah, it doesn't sound like a Saab. It is an LS2 under the hood. So we have 400 horsepower, and they covered it up with this Saab engine cover, although it has a badge for GM Performance Division to make it look a little bit different, but otherwise very stock Trailblazer right here. And you might be hearing a little tick, and that's because, yeah, it does have an exhaust manifold leak. Unfortunately, the exhaust is looking pretty rusty. This thing spent most of its life in Ohio, so the undercarriage, I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely not a Southern car either. Yeah, we'll inspect it more with the car wizard here in a little bit, but overall I do think it is pretty solid for what it is. So I bought it at auction, a collector car auction in Florida. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I was the winning bidder for $9,000. So that was $10,000 with fees and then another $1,000 to ship it here. And I do feel like I got a fantastic deal, because a Trailblazer in this kind of shape and mileage is worth low teens. They're pretty sought after because of all the aftermarket tuning and performance you can add to them, but they're still fairly practical vehicles, something GM really doesn't make today, anything like this. So I feel like getting the much rarer Saab version for way less was a really good deal. It does have 147,000 miles on it, but other than the exhaust manifold leak and one of the tires not really wanting to hold air, it doesn't seem to have any other problems. So I am super happy with this thing, but there could be some more problems hidden that the car wizard will find. So let's hop in, take a cruise up to the wizard's and see what he thinks. Since he seized my Touareg V10 from me, this seemed like a very worthy replacement. It's funny, I actually sold a lot of Trailblazer SS's when they were new back in 2007, 2008. I was working at a Chevy dealer, never experienced the Saab, and it feels exactly the same. Pretty good power, 400 horsepower out of these things, thanks to the LS2 under the hood. But you can find a lot more horsepower with a little bit of bolt-ons and some tuning, which I would love to do, assuming it's not that broken. But I really don't think the car wizard is going to find very much, because it does ride really nice, tracks super straight, everything seems to be working, no warning lights, heated seats, climate control, all of it working perfectly. So nice to have something American and simple and reliable, but yeah, the European touches do feel a little bit schmancy. Really, it's just a goofy thing though. At $50,000 in 2007, of course nobody bought these. You could get a Trailblazer SS in the mid to upper 30s, so why would you do this? Of course, GM was making absolutely terrible decisions back then, which led to their bankruptcy and selling Saab. And they tried reviving the brand one more time with a redesigned 9.5 that looked really cool, but it was too late. Saab was gone. We still have the Volvos for the Swedish cars, but even they're owned by Tata Motors in India and not really what they used to be. I cannot believe they did this back in the day. And it's... Go, go, go! That's really good stock, but you probably could hear that little exhaust leak. Sounds like it's on the right side, and that could definitely be a thing if the exhaust is all rusted and the bolts all break off and stuff, but I am optimistic because, yeah, everything, absolutely everything is working. Cruise control, let's see. Yep, everything's working. Wizard! Oh, he's already tearing apart the V10 Touareg. What are we doing, Wizard? Wizard? Oh, wow.
Getting all this gunk off of this pipe here.
That is a crooked pipe you have there.
Yeah, it is.
So you're already tearing apart the V10 Touareg, which I let you seize from me.
Yes, it's been seized.
Since I wasn't paying my bills.
Yeah.
Are you regretting your decision as you tear this thing apart?
I kind of am. Not so much. I mean, I knew that they were hard to work on, but finding parts, I was just kind of looking. Daniel started to try to take this apart so we could do the EGR clean out.
Yeah.
And finding some of these parts, I called around, and they're just not there. They're gone.
Oh, so it was the intake. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes.
Look at all the EGR.
That's all that nasty soot exhaust going back into the engine, and it builds up, and it just ruins modern diesels.
It does. It's all for emissions.
What a shame, but it's kind of cool to see the big 10-cylinder. But wasn't there a thing with these valve covers, like you couldn't reuse them or something?
Yeah, the old gasket. Here's the actual valve cover over here. If you buy them in America, you have to buy the entire valve cover. They're like $600 or $800 a piece.
You have to get the metal and everything, not the gasket. Yeah.
And the gas, which is torn off now, but it's actually molded around these holes, and it's non-removable, non-replaceable. But in the European market, there's the VW Transporter that has an inline 5-cylinder that uses identical valve cover.
Huh.
I ordered the gaskets for it, and
it fits?
It fits. It's like split where it fits over these holes.
Whoa.
And it works perfect.
Very cool. And there's one throttle body that is, disgusting.
Look at that one. Oh my. Let me pick this up for you.
That is...
I didn't even know it was that bad.
God, that is gross. Well, so I dodged your grenade here. Thank you for diving on it for me.
Yeah, I'm taking all the shrapnel here.
I've replaced it with something sort of sporty and fun too. A Saab 97X Aero. So
a Saab story.
Well, it's a Saab. It's European, but if you look at it, it's a rebadged Trailblazer.
I was thinking it has the profile of a Trailblazer.
Yep. So in the few years that GM owned Saab, they did terrible with it, and they thought that they could make this, and Saab customers would pay $50,000 for this, when a Trailblazer SS, which is what it is basically, was over $10,000 less.
Wow.
So yes, it does have, well, it's not really an LS swap, but it is an LS under the hood.
It says Saab.
Yep. They put a fancy European cover on it, but
that's an LS2 all day long.
Yep. A bit of a crusty LS2.
It is. It's quite crusty.
It came from Ohio, so...
Salty, that's why.
Yeah, it has a manifold leak on the right side, but both exhaust manifolds look pretty bad. I was thinking we could put a fun exhaust on this thing.
Yeah, it would sound a lot better. I'm interested to see how rusty it is on the bottom.
Yeah, hopefully not like my old Silverado SS. That was another grenade that you dove on for me, the one with the rusty frame, right?
Poopy deal.
But it wasn't as bad. I guess the Subaru, which the school buses are backing up Wizard's neighbors, so they're beeping. But the Subaru that was so rusty, the Baja, that it fell apart on your lift. But
oh yeah, it was crunching when we lifted it.
I don't think it's that bad. I poked around underneath there, but yeah, hopefully you don't find anything else. Other than the manifold leak, there's really nothing wrong with it.
The drive's good? Everything works? AC,
everything,
heat?
Everything.
Power windows?
147,000 miles, so...
Wow.
May not be anything to do other than, yeah, fun exhaust and making it go fast.
Let's get it on the lift. I'm curious to see how bad the rust is.
Okay. Yeah. It's a V8. The exhaust kind of catches up when it gets hot, you know. It seals up. Much worse cold. I'm taking up all your bin packs with my former hoopties and current hoopties. Jeez. Alright. Did you see what they did at the inside to make it Saab-y?
It's got the ignition in the center console like a Saab.
And then the vents are...
Oh yeah, it's very Saab-y.
It's goofy.
Let's see if we're going to Saab when we get it in the air and see if there's rusted out frame and things. Ready for the reveal?
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's pretty dang crusty.
Crap. Well, does it poke? No, it doesn't poke.
No, it doesn't poke.
Oh, but that's pretty leaky right there, too.
Yeah, that's probably these differential seals. Yep, it's coming down right there. Very common on these GMs.
Well, I'd say let's do an all-wheel drive delete. It's very popular on the Trailblazers when you're doing some power.
All-wheel drive delete?
Mm-hmm.
You just want to do burnouts, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you're paying the bill. We'll happily do it.
Yes, rather than pay the money to fix it, I think. Oh, but that's not... What's that?
It could be the cooler adapter. Let me see. It's kind of hard to see with the differential in the way, but right over here by the oil filter there can be a leak. Let me see if I can... So here's the oil filter here. They've relocated it to the actual oil pan there.
Alright.
So there it is. On the side, they've got it plugged with actual plugs. So it could be an oil pan or a rear main seal. Let's pop this little cover off and see.
Okay. Are we wet? Doesn't look wet.
Not really. I think that's probably just an oil pan gasket, and it's not leaking bad.
Alright. Well, what's this line right here that's looking kind of rusty?
Rusty, crusty. It looks like a power steering line to the rack. I'm not going to push on it.
Okay, and then that
These are
one's...
transmission cooler lines.
Okay.
Man, they're pretty crusty.
Oh.
Let me check your...
From the backs... Oh.
Oh, it's delaminating even. Oh, man.
Yeah?
I still think it's safe. I just don't... I think whatever lifespan this vehicle had has been diminished because of all the rust.
Right.
These braces here.
The braces for the radiator?
It's just for framework.
For the frame, yeah. Losing their finish.
Mm-hmm. Here's the cooler lines that come back through, and they're pretty crusty. I was going to check your brake lines.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, because I had that Hummer H2, similar era. That was from, I think, the same state that had a brake line failure as I was coming into the neighborhood.
Let me see if I can see. So they look like they're coated in like a rubber or plastic coating.
So they're safe?
They look safe. Let's check your ABS module here. Yeah, all the lines are coated in like a coating. So that's good.
That's great. Okay.
Saved your tail end there.
Yeah. Transfer case is...
Yeah, that's weird.
Existing. Oh. Huh.
You're going to do an exhaust on here anyway, probably, huh?
Yep.
That's about to come apart.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter if we're replacing it. This is all got a surface crust on it, but nothing serious. The fuel lines are here. That's kind of rusty. That's kind of sketchy there.
Well, you're poking them. They poked okay. Plastic fuel tank, but it's mounted with metal.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
What? It's still holding.
Oh man.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. That's interesting.
It's not been compromised. But
Yeah.
rusty. I think you caught this one and brought it to Kansas just in the nick of time.
Right. It's nothing. I mean, it's definitely ugly,
Yeah.
but it's not structurally compromised.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's probably fine. I've seen cars way worse than this on the road still driving fine.
Yeah, the thing about it is if I keep it all-wheel drive, then I could use it in the winter and not feel too guilty since it's already kind of
rusty. So my initial thought would be to build it into some crazy performing. Oh, jeez, look at the spare.
Oh my goodness, I wouldn't trust that thing.
Oh no. But if I keep it all-wheel drive, what? Is there something nesting in there?
Yeah, a mouse nest.
Yuck. Okay.
It's had new shocks put on.
Yeah, I see that. So what do you think as far as fixing the front diff? And I guess you're going to get access to the oil pan by
Yeah, we'll
fixing
take
that,
all
right?
that down, and we'll have access at that point just to do the. We'll just do the oil pan gasket.
And fix the all-wheel drive. And then this is a fun winter beater, and it can have a good exhaust, you know, a
Yeah.
plug-and-play tune.
Does all-wheel drive need fixed? Or?
No, it works just fine.
Okay.
But it's leaking, right? Here?
Oh yeah, the differential's leaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll fix that in your oil pan gasket, and I think some exhaust, and I would just use it as a winter beater. That's what I would do, but you can do whatever you want.
Right. So how much you think?
Mm,
You done a few of these?
yeah. $3 to $4 grand with exhaust, the oil pan, everything involved. Maybe less.
Okay, we better do it. I got it really cheap. I got it for $9 grand, which a Trailblazer SS is, even with this kind of mileage, would be 12, 13, 15 sometimes.
It's easily got 100 more thousand miles.
Yeah. I think I did okay considering. What I didn't do okay with is, well, all the other hoopties that are here. Well, the Touareg, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
My hero for diving on that grenade. Holy crap. Frank Sinatra Imperial, the tank is down again, it looks like, huh? Because we've done this once before.
Yeah, we were looking for why it was stalling. The second time around, we take it down because we're trying to figure out why our gas gauge, it's just not reading right. We finally found, and maybe some of you guys out there watching can comment where we could find the correct fuel sender. The one that was on here had a 2-wire analog fuel sender. But
Isn't this it here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a digital dash.
Yeah, very fancy digital dash, an old Frank Sinatra here.
And the correct fuel sender would have 3 wires going to it. And I contacted Parts Geek and Rock Auto, all kinds of different places. When I mentioned it was a Frank Sinatra edition, they laughed. They're like, yeah, there's no parts for that thing, man.
Wonderful.
So if you guys out there have a fuel sender for our Frank Sinatra Chrysler Imperial, we'd be happy to buy it from you.
Yeah, or an idea for a fix, I suppose. I don't know. It'd be nice to have a gauge, even like just a tacked on one, just to know how much fuel you got, because obviously this thing's going to drink it with that 318 that now has a 60s carburetor on it. So
that's totally an option. If we don't have any luck with people out there, I can put just a fuel gauge on it for you. That'd be easy.
nice. Okay.
But the stalling and all that's fixed. It runs great now.
Okay. Well, in the Evo, it looks like, well, you got the front diff here.
This is the transfer case. This is the differential, and also it sends the power to the rear. On your old one, this is the hydraulic line that goes to it. It hydraulically does kind of a clutch inside of here to do the rear.
Because I got a pump from J&J Auto Wrecking, and the pump worked,
It
but
works great.
This was a problem?
Yeah, on the old one, when it would go to apply inside of here, it would just fill this up with hydraulic fluid. It shouldn't be hydraulic fluid, just gear oil in here.
How much was this thing?
$1,400 with shipping.
But I don't have to pay that, right?
You don't, because
That's part of the Touareg
yes.
deal. Okay.
So
All right.
after we get this done, then your car is golden. It's ready to go.
Replacement
Wheels and
shocks.
tires.
Daniel, son, you pretending this is a Ferrari and having fun?
I don't know. I like working on this thing.
It's
I don't have to pretend on this one.
It's cool. It's going to be sitting a lot higher, more stock, so I need to find wheels for it since we're replacing all the suspension. And that's what's coming from J&J Auto Wrecking soon, also the suspension on the Hellcat, so we can wrap that up mechanically. But I see my truck's on the ground, huh?
Yes, it's done.
Okay.
Danielson got that one finished up. You got your hood latch fixed and a new battery and an oil change.
Yeah, the hood was stuck up. It wouldn't latch, and then it was due for a service, and yeah, the battery was stone dead flat on it. So I guess I can take this one home.
Yep.
I can leave you these,
Saab.
and I'll boogie, huh?
Well, I have a bill on this one.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it shouldn't be very big.
No.
All right, a battery and oil change on an F-150 from 2000. It's like gonna be 150, 200 bucks, right? $499?
Well, the battery itself is almost 200 bucks.
Batteries are so expensive nowadays. And then, yeah, the hood latch, $90, very reasonable. Oil change. Oil changes are more expensive nowadays.
Yes.
Just the synthetic oil. Everything's doubled.
It has.
Even on an old Ford, you know, if it's...
Even your tag light bulb is doubled.
Hold on. $297 for the tag light? I did not authorize that repair.
Well, you told us to service it.
I did not authorize that.
It's only $3.
This is a negative review on Google and Trustpilot and everywhere else. Take it off. Put the old one back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably make sure everything's on a battery tender from now on, because as expensive as batteries are, it's it's getting rough during the winter, letting all the batteries go. Because 5 years ago, they'd all sit without tenders, and I'd lose half the batteries, and $100 for a battery, okay. But,
I can remember when batteries were 50 or 60 bucks.
Right. Okay, well, appreciate it, Wizard. I'll leave the Trailblazer with you. Or, it's a Saab. I can remember it's a
Saab.
And take the Ford home.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.